Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital 2020 Booming to Web3. I'm Celia with TSA NFT Incubator, and I am the host for today. And for our attendees on Voxels, please check the message on chat. You can use those link to join our clubhouse, and we will have a Q&A session at 11:50 today as well. And we are live streaming on YouTube at the same time. You can click the big screen on Voxel to watch our live stream for today's topic. And for our attendees at Clubhouse, please help share this room and pin your friends to join us. And we're booming into Web3 social, and we would need everyone to take action to share our room. And to our distinguished speaker today, please write your sweet comments when you share the room and retweet the Clubhouse link to promote your own talk today. The live stream is starting now. You can click the pin link to join us on Voxel to watch the live stream. You can also access our Voxel Metaverse to watch on-site. You can also visit Digital 2020 Exhibition Hall, and you only need to sign in with your Twitter, Facebook, Discord, or Reddit account. And please check the download link please check the pin link on the top. Thank you, guys. And Digital 2020 Booming to Web3 Social is our third annual event since 2020. And this event is starting from June 3rd and will end on July 3rd. It is co-hosted by TSA NFT Incubator and Metaverse Generation, sponsored by Connect Club, Blockchain Impact Institute, Digital One Asset, Cash Rewards, and more. And this event is co-organized by the Pitch Club, the NFT Meetup, and Adam, Axtine, Kafi, Vessi, Nula. They're all our co-organizers. Digital 2020 is a month-long event designed to help companies understand all the intricacies of successfully leveraging the metaverse and collaborating in the digital world. We will be having keynotes, case studies, strategy sessions, and networking opportunities. And Digital 2020 is held at the TSA NFT Incubator building on Voxels, Clubhouse, and Connect Club. So if you have any questions during this event, our team, the TSA NFT team, will be on site to help you. So feel free to connect with us. And now I would like to share with you our today's agenda. We will have 3 speakers to share their topic from 10 a.m. to 11:45 a.m., followed by our fashion show today, and we will be ending with our featured music and fashion show by 12 p.m. So as a disclaimer, please know that crypto is risky. This event is strictly for educational purpose and not investment advice or a solicitation to buy or sell assets or to make any financial decisions. Please do your own research and talk to your own financial advisors. And first, we will have our founder, Ming, from TSA NFT Incubator to share her topic, Go-to-Market Journey. This is the 10th session, and the topic is Mrs. Wonderful meets Mr. Wonderful. And we'll have Ming to join us. Let's welcome her to share her topic. And Ming is a visionary leader, MBA, creative thinker, and the seasoned professional with a proven track record of developing multinational brands that connect China with the West. Ming has over 20 years experience in business development, strategic partnerships, mergers and acquisitions, corporate restructuring, and investment management. Furthermore, and she also has experience over 5 years in leading business developments in blockchain, DeFi, and NFTs. And Ming is the founder of TSA NFT Incubator. Her investments in education come from her high-profile CEO training class from London Business School, Columbia Business School, and International Management Development in Switzerland. Now she's building a Web3 Metaverse training center at Voxels, Sandbox, Division, and more, together with us, with our communities. So now I would like to invite Ming to join us on stage to share her topic today.
Thank you, Celia, for sharing all those exciting news with us. And today, my topic is Mr. Miss Wonderful meets Mr. Wonderful. So first, as usual, I would like to share our news as well as very exciting news from the current market. So the first, the current market. As you know, as some of you already know that eBay launched NFT marketplace. So let's take a look at eBay here. eBay acquires leading NFT marketplace, Loin Origin from UK. So this is the news. If you like to learn more, just go to Google it, and you will be able to learn more about the information regarding this new acquisition under eBay. It is very exciting. Last week, we shared about some other big institution in the acquisition for some other NFT marketplace. And now traditional institution platform and e-commerce, eBay comes to this play. That's very exciting news. And another exciting news just about us. So right now, if you are going to Voxels, and especially going to level 1 and go to our press release room, I'm not going to there because today we're setting up autoplay from our parcel. If you get access to our parcel, any levels, you will be able to hear the live stream sound from today's session. And here on level 1, we have press release room. Go check it. And who is in the studio right now? And he is one of our distinguished guests we're gonna invite for 29th. And he is going to interview our leading and very, very grateful for us as well is a musician artist from Chicago. So take a look at who is in the studio right now. And you can tell me later. Okay, so the second news and the third news on level 5. And we are very welcoming the big 6304, number is 6304, coming to our level 5. And we are very happy to have them to join our exhibition. And also very excited to collaborate with APE community going forward. So this is the news. Okay, Miss Wonderful. So who is Miss Wonderful? Today, I would like to introduce you TSA Dictionary Web3 music album. This is our Miss Wonderful. Okay, so let's go into a brief introduction information about TSA Web3 dictionary. And last time we already shared a little bit of information. And today we're gonna continue to do the same. So then you will remember it because lots of information here we need to digest every day. And this album is coming from 100 songs. And the total edition of this 100 songs will have 8,800 copies on Polygon and several copies on Balance Smart Chain, because we're gonna have a pre-release on June 30. So 100 songs will be minted on Balance Smart Chain as well. So this is for the 100 edition, 8,800 copies plus more on Balance Smart Chain. And this song was written by Vessi Mink and also sung by her as well. And we are working on right now getting everything go to the market. So count down 10 days. So please sign up our whitelist so you will be able to get the airdrop. And also you can check OpenSea. We already integrate with OpenSea. Another exciting news is you also can use credit card to buy. And for this project, we committed 10%. We're gonna dedicating to the social impact. So we are collaborating with a local art school and some other global charitable organization. And we would like to contribute this knowledge and also education in the space to the world. So, and we have some strategic partnership here, and we are going to adding more and more. And advisor for this project is Metaverse Generation, and some other strategic partnership from Digital 2020 event, and more from local and global communities. And tomorrow, I'm going to share with you 100 titles. Basically, 100 titles is based on our current event. When you go to our Twitter account, Blockchain Impact, and you will understand our 100 titles and 100 topics about Digital 2020 social impact event. As well, wearables. If you have a chance, got our wearables, you already noticed that the name is very different, very special, right? You might got the name of Crypto the Risky. You might got the name of the Let's Be Friend, or DeFi Journey, and more, right? So now I'm going to share even more about the TSA ecosystem on this space. And as you know, TSA NFT Incubator is a platform built on cross-chain, Balance Smart Chain, Ethereum Network, and also Polygon. And our mission is to connect collector and creator around the world, and to build a very friendly and useful and very educational platform so everyone can access to our incubator and also Metaverse to learn more and support each other. So last week, we shared about TSA ecosystem on Polygon and also on Balance Smart Chain. And today, I would like to share a little bit more about TSA on Ethereum Network, how we support DeFi. Okay, as you know, Ether merger is coming soon, and very positive, and we are also prepared for that launch as well. So here, Uniswap, as we know, Uniswap is the largest one on Ethereum network, right? And last week we talked about the quick swap on Polygon. So I'm not going to click this. If you are interested, go to tswap.live and you will understand how TSA as a loyalty token to support overall and the whole ecosystem on TSA NFT Incubator and the TSA Metaverse on Sandbox, on Voxels and Division Land and more. And a TSA loyalty token, how to support DeFi ecosystem. So TSA on largest DeFi dApp on Balance Smart Chain called PancakeSwap. Also on our own DeFi app, TSwap. And the TSA on QuickSwap, the largest dApp on Polygon. And now we are preparing a TSA on Uniswap. So here is Uniswap. And if you would like to be our liquid partner, very, very welcome. And we are, our future is just ahead of you. And here you can click TISA and you can click ETH, right? So you can switch, you can use a TISA to get ETH, or you can get ETH to swap TISA. So this is coming soon. You can see we already set up already. So we're just waiting for liquid partner to join us. And the formal launch will be right after ETH merger. Yeah. So as you know, we have two very important tokens to governance our ecosystem. So one is TSA coin. So TSA coin, you already learned. It supports 3 different blockchain right now. And we are coming also to those new blockchain and will be announcing later. And also TSA have NFT token. NFT token, we have Magic Box. Magic Box is one of is a key to access TSA DAO, and a TSA coin as well. So if you have a TSA coin, TSA coin, or TSA Magic Box, or any other NFT under our ecosystem, including Penguin, Brother, and Who's Boss, and coming soon Norse Mythology, and more. Those NFTs will be entitled. You will be entitled to receive TSA Magic Box, because TSA Magic Box is really very, very magic. And when you open the TSA Magic Box, you will get a big surprise, because you will get a TSA coin and also NFT, very rare NFT. So if you would like to learn TSA Magic Box, how to support TSA DAO, if you would like to learn TSA coin, how to support TSA ecosystem, of course, or a metaverse TSA build, and you can sign up Digital 2020 POAP, because this POAP is very powerful. And this POAP, $5 POAP right now, offering during this event and after event, the value of POAP will be determined by the community. And this POAP and so support all the free training class. And today I have another 20 minutes, tomorrow another 30 minutes will be ending my training class. And I'm welcome you to be our POAP users to continue to receive my free training after Digital 2020 month-long event. We're hosting every week at Voxels and training class. So you will be able to continue to learn the rest of title on TSA Web3 dictionary. So for this month-long event, you have learned at least 10 or 12 different topics related to DeFi, Metaverse, and so on. And if you are POAP users, I know you are very serious, and you are our loyalty users, you will be able to continue to receive our airdrop, receive free tickets to access to our community, and also those partners like APE community, some other very important communities involved in this metaverse. And also on any other upcoming new drops through our partnership, for instance, our in-house exhibitor, in-house exhibitor, artist, musician, Extinct, and they are going to have lots of different airdrop and new drops, NFT or music, right? So you will have a chance to get priority on priority list. And we have upcoming music album NFTs offering and from Vessi and some other partners, and you also will be on the priority list as well. This is just 2 examples. We're gonna have many, many more musicians, including my Shih Tzu NFT. He is barking me, oh my God. Yeah, so okay, you're good. And our Shih Tzu NFT project is on top level 5. And Shih Tzu NFT is just for a social impact, because you know NFT sometimes maybe NFT for good, NFT for collectible reason, or NFT for staking, or NFT for some other utilities, right? So if you owning POAP, you will be able to access to all the different levels at the Digital One exhibition hall. And on June 30 until July 4th, everyone can access, but after July 4th, and some certain POAP users can be able to access to a certain level. That's the beauty of the metaverse. That's the beauty of NFT Gate. That's the beauty for being a loyalty users for your community you like. Okay, so how to claim your digital 2020 POAP, and you just go to tswag.live and check POAP NFT. You will be able to receive and claim your benefits. So this is a Ming from TSA NFT Incubator, and welcome to join our community and follow us on Twitter. And we have Discord, and today YouTube is live. I'm going to wait for you at Metaverse Voxels and to chat with you, to support you, to learn from each other. So now I am going to welcome our next two speakers and also our host, Adam, to take over from me and start his journey today with his distinguished guest. And Adam just join us. Who is Adam? Adam, sorry, and Adam just joined here, and I would like to give you a little bit of background about Adam. So I met Adam through a Connect Club, and Adam has been helping TSA NFT Incubator to promote to his community. And he's very, very great guy and very, very positive mindset, even though we are very new to this social podcast. And we learn a lot from Adam. And he's very specializing in digital marketing, and follow him on Twitter. His Twitter account is a Meta SHOXX. Yeah. And he's running consulting agency. He's coming from beautiful beach city, West Palm Beach, Florida, my best favorite city. And here we are. We have Adam here. Let us welcome Adam. And Adam, how are you?
I'm wonderful, man. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, good.
Awesome.
So,
I think Sam is doing her best to join in right now. Do you have the request there by any chance? She just sent her the link again.
okay. So Adam is working on communicating with his speaker. So Adam, would you like to take over from here, or would you like us to start our introduction for some other project?
No, that's fine. I just was seeing if Samantha was joining us right now, and thank you so much. It's been an amazing space here. It's the 27th, booming into Web3, and this has just been an amazing experience. Hello, Celia. I see you there. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I just had Sam text me on Twitter saying she was doing her best to join right now. So
yeah, Cafe is texting me too. She's wanting to join us, but I don't think she mean to get the request.
well, awesome. Yeah, this is Samantha Kelly. She's a TEDx speaker. She's very well known in a lot of different communities. And one of the things that I like to do is bridge the gap between communities that don't know about, definance, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and everything that the TSA NFT has strived to bring together for the past 3 years and now coming to fruition. We're bridging the gap between communities that, like I said, know nothing about it. And we've got a magnificent speaker here, Samantha Kelly. She's going to be speaking on what's holding you back. And I think that definitely ties together with everything in life, because basically, if you can get rid of what's holding you back, you can open up the opportunities to venture into something like this, because it really is wrapping your head around a huge, a new venture. You know what I'm saying? So basically, and when you meet all these professionals in these different spaces and do your best to influence and join with their community and get them to join your community, it's really challenging, but that's where our community goes above and beyond, because the openness and the willingness to teach and work with people at their pace, I think, is the most, it's the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So has Sam joined us by any chance? No? Let me just text her real quick.
Sure.
Did you want to maybe, Celia, do you want to do the intro, or did we already do that?
We already did that, but it's fine. I can do the intro again. and also to remind our attendees that Voxel and Clubhouse too. So if you're on Voxels, please check the message on chat. You can click those links to join us on Clubhouse, and we'll be having a Q&A session today at 11:45, and we're live streaming on YouTube at the same time. You can use the big screen on Voxels to watch the live stream for today's topic and our wonderful speakers, Samantha. And as you can see, Ming is also on our Voxel. She's sharing that with us on Zoom, and she's just giving us a tour on the exhibition building. And for our attendees on Clubhouse, please help share this room and pin your friends to join us. And also don't forget to click the little green house on the top to join our club, TSA NFT Incubator. We're booming to Web3 social, so we would need everyone to take action and share our room. And to our distinguished speaker, Samantha, and if you're in the Clubhouse, please write your sweet comments when you share the room and retrieve the Clubhouse link to promote your talk today. And the live streaming is happening right now. You can click the pin link to join us on Voxel to watch the live stream. And you can also find the YouTube live stream link in the chat box. You can also click that one to join us to watch the live stream. And you can also visit our Digital 2020 exhibition hall. And you can sign in with your Twitter, Facebook, Discord, or Reddit account. And oh, I believe I heard, let me just admit, Cafe is in. Hey, Cafe, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Doing wonderful. Just waiting on Sam. Oh, there's
yeah,
Samantha right there.
Awesome.
Perfect timing, right?
All right, let me know when you want me to come in. Happy.
Yeah, no, just basically, Sam, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you for joining us. So what time is it there in Scotland right now? So we've been having such a crazy experience with all this global stuff, right? It's just, hey, what time? Hey, what time? So what time is it there in Scotland?
I'm in Ireland, actually.
Oh, right, that one.
7:24. It should be 7:24 p.m.
No, it is.
Is it
6:24?
Yes, because we have Nuala in Scotland.
That's where I got confused.
She's at the same time as Ireland, I believe. And she's 5 hours ahead of us.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sam. Thank you for joining us. It's been a lovely experience, not only meeting you, but just joining all these different communities. And like I was talking about, I don't know that you have a huge headspace for the cryptocurrency, the blockchain, the DeFi, like we're talking about, but I really thank you for joining us, because what for me, how to get rid of what's holding you back is like the fundamental thing that allowed me to have the headspace to get into something like this. So basically, you know, being a TEDx speaker, being a very influential powerhouse that you are, do you want to dive right into how to get rid of what's holding you back, Samantha?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. And one thing that would have stopped me doing something like this before is, you know, I'm 14 years sober, and I used to feel like a useless member of society. And then when I actually decided that I didn't want to drink anymore, or that it was affecting people around me and myself, it just changed my whole life. It just gave me options that I didn't know I had, like all the things I dream about. You know, I used to watch Little House on the Prairie, and I used to want her mother. You know, I wanted her mom. I didn't want my mom, I wanted her mom. Things like that. I wanted my children to be like their children, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, if you come into my house, now, full disclosure, earlier on, there was an argument in the house, right? So we also still have arguments. But once I got rid of what was holding me back, confidence-wise, energy-wise, spiritual-wise, that's when I really started to take off, because I started thinking maybe I could do that. Like what you're doing today, you know, anything is possible when you have Wi-Fi. Anything is possible. Well, if it's a good Wi-Fi connection, you can go global, you can share your expertise. And I was an expert in nothing. Well, drinking, you know, and all the stuff that went with it. But once I got rid of that and I started looking at myself and seeing what talents I had that I'd forgotten about. And there were talents, you know, I'm very good at art. I'm very good at creating things. I'm very good at with people, you know, and I think I have a lot of empathy because of the fact that I have been there, done that. And when I started my business, I was a lone parent on social welfare. So I didn't have any money. I didn't have any connections. So I just decided that I would stick my head up a little bit above and help people from my own experience. So luckily enough, when I got onto Twitter turned out to be my superpower, but I suppose it's not really luck. I put the work in, I learned as much as I could. So, you know, even you're saying, don't know how you feel about the world of crypto and NFTs. And I mean, I haven't a notion, but I have an open mind, and that's the difference, you know. So if you have an open mind, you can learn anything really. And maybe I'll be crap at it, maybe I'll be terrible at it, but you know, we're not all good at everything, you know. I can see someone trying to go into the room there. It's funny. The joys of live as well, you know, it's shown the human in all of us. It's shown that, yeah, I'm not the only one that has a teenager that wants to be fed right now when, you know, I'm in the middle of a Zoom call. I'm not the only one who, my husband would come in asking me about, like, where's the scrubbing brush for the toilet? Like, you know, this is all real stuff. And I think I talk about real stuff. And I think because I've been there, if someone, it could be cigarettes, it could be Coca-Cola, it could be food, it could be a person, it could be a toxic person in your life. When you get rid of that, that's holding you back, you just, it just opens up the world for you and the possibilities. And I think once you get rid of that thing that was making you feel crap, you start feeling better and you start feeling more confident and you start feeling like, you know, maybe I could do this. Maybe I can lead. Maybe I can be a leader. Maybe I can be a speaker. Maybe I, you know, and then I started doing it. And then, yeah, it's just amazing. And then I wrote a book. And, you know, when you start doing stuff that, you know, you probably think is out of your reach. Like I have a vision board. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. I have a vision board, and, you know, some of the stuff I'm like, I won't look like Nike girl anytime soon, but, you know, I'm getting there. I lost a stone in the past 2 months, and, you know, I'm looking at the different things. I have $1 million bill on there as well. And it's like, I'm probably not going to make $1 million, but it's on my vision board. So you never know, you know, anything is possible. So I just make these little targets. So for anyone listening, you know, just make those little targets and say, I want to speak at a conference in New York, and just make it happen. I just made it happen. I saw a conference happening in New York. I happened to be going to New York with my husband. And so I contacted them and I said, do you need, I'm going to be in New York. Would you like me to drop in? And they were like, oh my God, would you go on stage and speak about Twitter for 20 minutes? It's like, yeah, sure. So next thing, I'm a speaker. I'm an international speaker, you know, so, and it's like if you were on a webinar here in Ireland, you're an international speaker. You know?
That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I've spent a lot of time with you in Twitter spaces, and your speaking prowess and your community building abilities has just been amazing, just to be able to interact with you. And, you know, I'd really appreciate you coming over here and sharing some of your words, because when you spoke on stage and said, just reminiscent of what you just said, it was very powerful, because you said, if you want to be on this stage, set the plan in place. You can be here next year. Anyone can be here. And I just love that energy that you bring, because that's what we're all doing. We're building a community. We're coming together. We're getting on the camera. We're, you know, one of my friends used to say, we kind of did it together. He said, I like to build the plane just enough to where it can fly, and then build the rest of it in the air. So do you have any thoughts on that, on like your personal experience on getting, could you give us like, what airplane would you say is the best little vessel to get part of the way in the air, if this is a good question, and then build it the rest of the way in the air? Does that bring anything up for you?
Well, yeah. Events, you know, I remember I just said, oh, I know, I'll do an event. I'll do a social media event. It was in 2016. I had no money. I had nothing like, and I said, I know, I'll do a social media event. And then what happened was this guy had come to a different event I was doing, and he was the head of Dublin City Council. And he stood at the back of the room, and I didn't know he was there, but I met him on Twitter. And so if you look at his profile, you will see it says poet and lover of all things Ireland. It doesn't say his position, what he does. And that's one thing about Twitter to keep in mind. Not everybody will have their CV on, like, you know, like in LinkedIn, they have, oh, managing director of X or whatever. So I just liked him. We start chatting. And Peter stood at the back of the room. And then one guy tried to speak, and he was a foreign guy and he didn't have much English. And one girl said, oh, no, sit down, sit down. The girl in the panel said, and I said, oh, hang on a second. So I went and I took the microphone and I said, no, he gets to speak. And he said at the back of the room, he said, when he went into the event, I was a 5 out of 10, but when he saw me do that, I was a 10 out of 10. He said, that's what his words were. So I made an impression because I suppose, I don't know, because I kind of took over, I suppose, and because I let your man have his moment, gave him a chance, I suppose. And he's just, he said, you know, I'd like to meet you, you know, let's have a meeting. And I said, well, I have this idea in my head and, you know, I'd really like to do it. And I ended up getting 20,000 euros sponsorship off the council for my conference, just from that relationship I built on Twitter and from him watching me do that action. So it's how you make people feel is really important, and how you build those relationships so that he trusted me enough to, he knew, actually, I said at the launch of the event, I said, you know, I'd like to thank Peter for taking a gamble on me. And he said, well, actually, it was more of a discerning decision or something like that. He said something really funny. And it was like, you know, he knew he was taking a chance on me, but he trusted that I would deliver. And I did deliver. It was a brilliant conference. But like, I made it up as I went. I really did. I decided to launch the conference, hadn't even got all the speakers lined up. And I just launched the tickets, early bird tickets. If you look at my conference that we have coming up on the October 5th, you will see on that link to be announced in several places. You'll have some of the speakers, but not all of them. So I'm kind of, I fill it in as I go, and I might add something fluffy or bells and whistles and get the basics first, the venue, the topic, you know, do your event, create the event first. The people will come. It doesn't matter where you have it. The people will come if they're interested in what you are going to be doing. So find out, is there a market? I knew there was a market for a social media event. And then I was very lucky because the Web Summit, which is a really, really big event, used to be here in Dublin, they moved to Lisbon. So there was a gap for me too. So the council came fully on board, put a big, huge, I must send you the picture later, actually, I'll send it to you in DM on Twitter, did a huge, big thing on the side of a building for my social media summit. I was like, what? This is amazing. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is build it. You know, people will come if they're interested in it. You know, just create it first. Your date, your venue. That's all you need, your ticket price. And then fill it in as you go. You know, that's one example, I suppose.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. I love it. And that's, like I said, it comes back to this booming into digital Web3, because basically what we're building with the community is the Web3 presence to have digital billboards. We've got it. We've got on TSA NFT, the digital one asset building. There's a yacht. There's a complete community that will give you access to learn everything about DeFi, cryptocurrency, and becoming your own bank with you purchase the NFT for $5. So once we dive into that, that'll be, I mean, as we grow that's going to be, it is amazing. I mean, for me, being in the Web3 space, learning about it was, to be honest with you, it was an arduous task. I mean, it was growing the headspace little by little, but now what Min has done with her team is put in a very clear, concise, just like your public speaking profession, like you set out to do it, you've done it, and now we're building the community. And I'm so glad that you're here. Do you even know what a POAP is, by any chance? I'm going to put you on the spot.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What's a proof of attendance protocol? And we're not going to go into a huge thing. It's just like basically a digital wristband that proves that you were there at the event for the event that you could set up. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like a different digital presence. So I know I'm segueing a little bit. Go ahead, Coffee.
And good evening, Samantha.
Hello.
I'm Coffee D'Ambrossi. So a POAP, even in a more basic form, is your receipt and a gift all in one.
Right.
And wonderful hearing you speak. The things that resonated with me, and I think probably a lot of our audience, was even if we're struggling with some type of addiction or something that holds us back, in an instant, we can make a decision and pivot ourselves and hyper focus on the thing and create manifestation of the thing and take those micro steps like every day. And so you've been inspirational, I know, to our audience of, should I be a speaker? Well, let us put it on the calendar. Should I write a blog? Should I podcast? And we can always take micro steps, right? And so I believe perhaps you were interested in the metaverse. So you decided to come on a podcast and speak about something that you want to learn. And so I love the fact that you had set your mind, you said you set your mind, you cleared your emotions, and you cleared your spiritual life. Could you just touch on that for one more minute on the steps that you used to do that?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
because we talk about mental health a lot in this space and how much it's needed. So we would love to hear a little more clarification about how we could retain those skills to carry on here with our own selves here in the metaverse space.
Well, I didn't do it on my own. I mean, my father passed away when I started my business, so I used my dad a lot. Like, you know, in Ireland, we're all Catholics and very church. It's a very kind of religion I'm not religious. I would say I'm spiritual because I love nature and I just focused on what made me feel good and what made me feel calm. So whether that's reading a book or whether that's walking in nature or whatever it is, I know there's something bigger than me, and that could be another person talking to someone. You know, it could be just get it out of our own heads. My head is a dangerous place. It's like the Bronx. Do not go in there alone, because sometimes my head can say all kinds of mad things to me and make me feel like nobody cares about me, or feeling sorry for myself, or, you know, and luckily I'm on a program, you know, the AA program. So, I mean, we have all these slogans like, this too shall pass. Like, something horrible happened to me the other day and I went, this will pass. It's only today, and a day at a time as well. I'm just going to show you my vision board just to show you what I'm talking about. Hang on.
Please do. Yeah, that's wonderful. While we wait for her to come back, I think it's so cool. This is so much fun. I'm having fun. I'd love to see your vision
That's another
board.
thing. I'm not in a big fancy office with a big chair. I'm in my box room.
You know what's cool? The squares you have on your back wall. I have some just like that. They're brown. They're the exact same wall mounts. Yeah, they're cool.
And you see the way my sign is even crooked. That's not very good, is
you gotta crooked it up a little bit more. It's not crooked enough.
I know. But this is my vision board. But do you see my $1 million there?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But then do you see this little candle here?
Yes.
It's a Joe Malone candle. Now you see that red dress, that's what the dress I'm going to wear when I collect my awards, right? You know, things like that. So you could actually make this really easily for yourself, just out in magazines and stuff. But as you can see, nature is featured a lot. I love nature. And then I put words in like strong, joy, family. But the little candle, I always wanted a Joe Malone candle because they're quite expensive and I like candles, the scented candles. And one day I was coming back from speaking at a conference in New York. And what I do is I reward myself when I do something amazing that I didn't think I would ever do. So I was walking by the Joe Malone counter and I bought a candle and a perfume, right? So I really treated myself. But things like that can just it's important to look after ourselves. Self-care. And for me, that means going to meetings and helping another person. When I help someone else, even like Adam, you know, I mean, we don't know each other that well, but I like him. I like what he's about. And if I didn't like Adam, I wouldn't be sitting here. That's the way it is. You know, if I don't like someone, I'm not going to like, so I do watch people and I watch how they are with other people. And if they're a bitch or whatever, I just stay away. You know, so it's about surrounding yourself with similar minded people that understand you and get your drive and get your passion and get what you're doing. And I'm always saying to my daughter, you know, she loves all this the anime art, like she does all this art, and I was like, I don't understand any of it, but she's just amazing. And all her friends are online and they're all doing the same stuff. Like, so she's found her little group, you know. And the spiritual side of things is important, because if I didn't have something or believe there was something helping me along the way, I don't think I'd do as well. You know, like I have to hand things over sometimes. There might be a problem that would baffle me, a situation. How do I handle this? And then I just go, oh, you deal with it. I don't have the headspace, you deal with it. And handing over stuff like that, that's what I do. But that's only because I'm on a program and I've learned all that. You know, it's hard if you're on your own. So I do suggest, you know, find people like yourself that understand you, so that it could be yoga, it could be whatever. It's not for me. I'm not a yoga person, right? But my daughter is. She loves sea swimming. You will not get me into the Irish Sea. It's freezing cold. And no, I don't want to get wet and I don't want to get cold. But that's her thing. And that's her spiritual experience. So I do think it's important. Sorry, I have a new laptop and it keeps doing weird things on me. Sorry. It is important to find something that will keep you grounded as well. And little slogans like "this too shall pass," let go and let God, you know, whatever your conception is of God, you know, your perception. I used my dad for a long time, and now it's nature. I use nature a lot, like, but there's definitely something better than me out there. And that could be a mentor. It could be someone else that you can speak to. It doesn't have to be like a God, you know, that kind of thing.
Fantastic. So let's open it up now for questions. Adam, do you have any questions in your queue, in your DMs?
I do, yeah. One of the
Samantha.
questions from the audience is, what do you say to yourself what do you say to yourself first thing in the morning when you wake up?
Let me do the right thing today and help someone along the way, and get me through the day. Get me through the day in a good way. Really, something like that. I also have a daily reflections, and I have several different things like this, you know. Daily reflections, keep it simple. That's another really important one. Keep it simple. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. Like business is easy. It's just humans that complicate it, you know. It's all about just, you know, I just ask for help in the morning and say, help me get through the day and not hurt anyone, and not and do something good today.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we spend 90% of our time in our head. We might as well make it a nice place, is what I tell myself. It's like you're literally in your head 90% of the time. You might as well. And I love what you said about this positive self-talk, because that's where I'm at all the time. So what is one of your go-tos for positivity? Like if you're down, do you have like a little one that you just reach in and pull out? Because for me, it's that process of getting better and better at actualization, and giving yourself a little pat on the back. And when you fail, give yourself the grace to realize, you know, okay, I failed. There'll be a positive from it because I'm learning. Good job realizing you failed. Good job realizing what you can do to move forward from it. So I'd like to know some of those little nuggets that you dive into, like when you're reaching the struggle, and what's your quick go-to, you know?
Actually, you said that a very important word there, grace. I love grace. And it's something I'm learning still. I'd like to think I have grace, but it's something that you don't see in many people. And when I see it and I find it, I hang on to it and I hang out with that person. It's just lovely. I actually, earlier today with that row, what I did was I got in my car and I drove over to I live by the sea, and I drove over to the thing, and I love looking out at the sea. The sea is my go-to place when my head is melted or if I'm upset. I also have 3 dogs, so I just take them for a walk on the beach. So I'm very blessed to live by the sea. But I put that on my vision board. I wanted a house by the sea.
Wow.
So
you know what trees is, right? A small forest.
you slagging my accent.
Yeah, no, I worked with a lot of Irish people for a long time. I'm sorry I said you were from Scotland, but we had a couple of sayings. I won't say some of them, but I will say this one. Do you know what a porter mechanic is?
No.
An alcoholic. They're always working on a beer.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to
That's like
throw
a
that one in.
dad joke, Adam.
I
That's
know
a
it's
dad
such a
joke.
good one though, right? So do you see any questions in the, I'm not over in the clubhouse. I don't know if we joined over there. It's
I'm looking
very,
in the clubhouse. They
yeah,
are
it's
playing We Are the Champion by Queen over this talk. They are excited to be in the room. Any more questions from Clubhouse? Vessi, do you have a question? Normally Vessi has a question. Vessi, we need you to text your question into the chat feature so
Or
that
is she
we can
back
have
channeling me? I'm
so
on
that we
Clubhouse.
so that we can have seamless audio.
well, it's the attempt of the seamless audio,
It
isn't
is
it? That's
attempt.
it's the work in progress.
But our
So
team, we're exuberant. And Adam, you're looking dapper today, I must say.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. You look happy.
Well, I had to match the energy of the beautiful ladies I would be accompanying
Yes.
today.
Oh,
I love it, Adam. Good man, good man. See, that's how he got me on this. Charmer. He's a charmer.
he is a charmer. But I wanted to come because you're Irish and I've always wanted to be Irish. Yes, it's true. My family name is Bailey. My mother was born with red hair and freckles. So
No
I'm
way.
grasping
Have you been here?
onto. I
Have you
have
been here?
not. Her nickname is not something I would repeat in Ireland, but it was an endearment in our home. Uh, and so, I want that 132nd Irish, I feel it in my blood. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
should come
come one
over
day.
then. You need to come over. Yeah. Well, we have a conference on the 5th of October. You can
Really?
come virtually if you want, but I mean, we have a
No,
conference. It's
let
on
me
the
get
5th.
on that passport. Is
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah, I would love to come.
Oh, I
Well,
do
you
have
know
a,
what?
go
There was
ahead,
a
Sam.
girl once that wanted to come to Ireland, and she was a sales expert, and I built a relationship with her. I ended up working with her,
Mhm.
helping her with her Twitter, and then I invited her to speak at my conference,
Okay,
and
I'm
she came
in
over
for
to speak
that.
at my conference. So
I'm in for
make it
that track.
happen. Make
Okay,
it
I'm
happen.
in. Yes, I can't wait to. Yes. So Bessie Mink's question is, what will you do with your first million?
Oh gosh. I look after my family. First, obviously, I just found out my daughter is expecting a baby. She's 23, and I'm going to be a grandmother. But
You're gonna
yes,
be a
I would.
nun.
Huh?
You're gonna be a nun.
I know. But my first million, I would get look after my family, I think first, and then I would like to set up a helpline for business owners. I really would like to set up something like that that's going to help female business owners in particular. I'm very passionate about women in business, because I had nothing when I started. But that's why I started Women's Inspire Network, which is a global network, and we do weekly webinars and stuff. But I think there's a thing missing, which is a helpline. And Adam, you probably might have mentioned something like this before. I mean, especially if we're talking about mental health, I think if there was a helpline for business owners, it would be really powerful. I haven't got around to the ins and outs. Apparently, I just think that there is a gap there and a need for a helpline where if you're having a really crappy day and you're thinking you're about to give up or whatever, I often take calls from members and they would be crying on the phone. And like one lady was crying once, and she was stuck, and so I gave her some solutions and forgot all about it. And 3 months later, I was trying to book a holiday and it was really expensive. And she messaged me and said, I have an apartment in Portugal. If you want to have it the first week in October, you can have it for free. So she remembered how I made her feel by listening. And I think a helpline for business owners where we can just listen. There's too many suicides with people, especially men as well. I think they don't have that outlet where they can say, do you know what, I'm really struggling here. They're so busy faking it till they make it, or what, trying to look like they're successful. And I think there is a gap. So that would be part definitely of what I would do with that million for sure.
And what would be your final thought that you would like to leave us with today?
just go for it. You only live once. Just go for it. If you have an idea and you feel like there's an audience and a customer that is going to pay money for what you do or for that service or product, then do your research and just go for it. If it fails, it doesn't matter. You know, at least you've tried. You know, at least you're trying something. And another little tip, my favorite quote, don't ever take criticism from someone you would never go to for advice.
Wow, that part.
That's
Repeat
from
that
Morgan
one more
Freeman
time.
now, but I
We
like that.
say, we say rewind in the poetry world. Rewind, say that one more time for us.
Don't take criticism from someone who you would never go to for advice.
Fantastic. Everyone, please go follow Samantha Kelly, who I've been following for a while, at Tweeting Goddess. Right now, you can find her app, wedo.hq, for women in business. Adam?
Well, actually, we do, just to let you know, that's for freelancers. That's an app for freelancers, and they actually came on board with Women's Inspire Network. So they're actually, we're going to be using their app when it launches in September. So do keep an eye out for that. That's for freelancers to get paid and stuff. The Women's Inspire Network, they hired me to make the Women's Inspire Network the biggest global network in the world. I already wanted to do that, but they've acquired Women's Inspire Network. And now my job is to do what I was already doing, but now it's possible because I have power behind me now. And
you see, my position was to do the best that I can to bring this powerhouse to this powerhouse to this powerhouse, because you see, we're in a room full of powerful women, and it's been a pleasure. I love every space we've ever shared together. Thank you for joining us today. You inspire me, because one of my go-tos is to be a TEDx speaker. I mean, I've changed my life completely, and not to make it about me, but you've really inspired me, your stage presence in Twitter Spaces. And by the way, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you share, please, this tiny little piece of information about how you've grown on Twitter Spaces? Because that was very impactful. You came into Clubhouse about a year ago and gave me a tiny little tidbit. And what it did is it allowed me to connect with other high-class, valuable people, not amount of the followers, this, that, and other, but I've connected with other verified people, people who have 0 followers, strictly off of the tricks and tips. And when we say tricks, but it's all technique on what you've applied to in Twitter. Would you share one of those with us before, just as a little bit of value? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, Twitter, I can talk about Twitter till the cows come home. I mean, it's a real Irish thing to say, but like, I'll tell you, it's all about, you know, when you start a Twitter space, welcome people who come into the space. I invite everybody on the stage that comes in that looks normal, right? I will invite them up to speak. I always make sure I don't ignore anyone. And it's like on Twitter, you know, if someone follows you, I always thank them for following me. I always maybe put them on a Twitter list and keep an eye on them during the week to see if I can help them today. How can I help them? I imagine someone with 49 followers and they put up a tweet and I retweet them, like that's going to make their day. And for me, it's just a click of a button. For them, it's a big, big deal. So I always would mention people, add them on Twitter lists, help them, give them a chance to speak. Give them a chance to speak. You just don't know who's in the audience. You just don't know who needs to hear what they have to say. And Adam, just so you know, the TEDx thing came up for me. I was speaking at a different event. So go to events, folks, go to different Twitter spaces, go and find different people and listen and make those connections, build those relationships, but then nurture them like Adam does with me. Nurture the relationship. Drop in and say, oh, hi, how are you doing today? You know, like that's lovely, you know, and people forget, just because you have all these followers, one thing I always try and do is look after my followers, which means they're not my followers, they're my community. And what I do is I just say, God, I haven't seen Anne for a long time. I wonder what she's doing. And I go in and I see Anne's father passed away or something. And then I'm able to go in and get involved in that conversation. So the thing about TEDx, though, I was speaking at a totally different event. So go to different events, folks. The first time I ever spoke on stage, I was actually at an event and one of the panel speakers didn't turn up. And so I had the chance to be on the stage. They asked me, would I go on the stage? And I was like, okay. And so I did. And apparently I stood out. There was three guys on the stage and then me. So it was great. So that was my first speaking moment. So if you don't go to these events, you're not going to know what's out there. You're not going to know what gaps are being left that you can fill. Think of it that way. And then think, what value can you bring to the event? Maybe there's someone there that hasn't a clue about the metaverse or hasn't a clue, and you could be that person that they need on that stage right now. Yeah, the thing I was speaking at, the guy who was organizing the TEDx event in Oma was in the audience, and he came up afterwards and said, I really liked what you said on the stage. Would you speak at my TEDx? I didn't even have to apply to speak. Like, so go to other events, get out there. Put yourself out there, turn up at the clubhouse rooms, turn up at the Twitter spaces. You just don't know who you're going to meet. You just don't know.
No, and what you said there, it doesn't matter whether if you have the blue tick, the verified Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, whatever, all these verified, you can still be that person by checking in on your community. You can still be, you can do it with one follower. You can go in, you have one follower, that's one person that's following you. That's a genuine person. Go interact with them.
Yeah, don't forget, I started with one follower. I hadn't a clue what I was doing when I started on Twitter. And I always remember where I came from, you know, and I think that's what makes me stand out, is because you probably know anyway by now, like, I'm fairly laid back, you know, I'm a bit of a messer, you know, I never changed, and people wanted me to be this way, but you are unique. Be yourself. You know, you are your unique selling point. Be yourself, stand out. Just do your thing and do it your way. And then people, there's a market for all of us. There's a market for everybody. You know, people are sick of that polished speaker thing. You know, they want something different, something more energetic, something fun, something. Don't forget, we've been through 2 years of hell, you know, so people want to be inspired. If you can give them hope, if you can show them that they can do it too, that's a huge thing as well, I find. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Oh, go ahead, Coffee.
I wanted to thank Adam, who knows your passion for women, and said, you know what, we need to have a woman host.
Yeah.
We need to have a woman co-host with me, and so we could share the love. So thank you for the invite, Adam, and thank you for the connection. I've been following you for a while. And so while we wait for Celia and Min to come on, what would be, since we're waiting, what would be your top 3 tips for someone new in this space who, in terms of social media, what are just 3 things that people can do aside from the things that you and Adam have already mentioned? Just as a beginner, someone who has a new business, someone has a new business, someone who perhaps is afraid of social media. I'm always like, I usually say, can you send a message? They're like, yeah. I said, it's the same thing, just a different platform. But what would you say to remove the fear for someone who's afraid of social media?
Find the right platform where your audience are. It might not be Twitter. It might be Instagram. It might be TikTok. Find where your customers are and your audience and your community. Get a great headshot. So, you know, for LinkedIn and for Twitter, get a really good headshot. If you look at my headshot, I don't look like that now, but it's a great headshot, right? I got
you look even better than that right now.
Charmer.
You do, yeah.
But you get.
I'm a photographer, I know.
Yeah, well, that headshot is great, because I went in and I asked the photographer. I said, look, I want to look like I mean business, but I want to look approachable, and I want to get the mischievous glint in my eye. And he got it perfectly. Yeah. And I always talk about him. He's got so much business from me talking about that headshot. But, you know, get a great headshot, because if you're asked to speak at an event or to do a webinar or anything like that, the event organizer is going to ask you for a headshot. They're going to ask to put on your put on their website, to put on their social media images. So headshot, your bio on Twitter, fill it in with what you want to attract. If you look at my bio on Twitter, you will see I have nice people collector on it. I have my stamp of authority, TEDx speaker, Twitter expert, Women's Inspire Network. So you know, it's all about making it attractive for someone to click follow. And when someone clicks follow, they are a potential brand advocate for you forever. Be yourself, add value. So start tweeting about what you're an expert in. Start maybe giving simple tips, the top 3 tips for beginners for the metaverse, 3 things about the metaverse, 3 myths debunked or something. You know, these kind of things are really, really useful. How to create something, like I always say, how to pin a tweet, how to create a Twitter list, how to simple, go back to simple. And people will start following you and sharing your content if it's really good content.
I think that's the key right there. You have to have good content. I mean, we talk about, I see all these Telegram things about join this list and we can get you blasted out. That's like false community to me, because you really have to have the people behind you that believe in you and have good content, good, valuable content. So I really appreciate everything you've said. And, you know, just to go back to it, you're such a powerhouse of a speaker. I can't give you enough accolades for being here today, because it's fun for me to sit back and learn, because I mean, I'm sort of a professional in this space. I'm getting better at it, but to see someone who's done it and achieved it and share value with us, I'm really glad to be a part of your community. I already signed the waiting list for the We Do community. So I'm very anticipating how that's coming out. And
that's going to be cool. And I met Indiana in Clubhouse, by the way. That's how I ended up with that role. But the Women's Inspire Network Conference is the 5th of October. If anyone wants to come along, you can come along virtually. We're going to have speakers all about that in Indiana, and we're going to be launching the new branding. We're going to be talking about how to use the app, all of that. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about how to get media attention for your business, how to use Twitter to build relationships, how to find your niche and get paid. And I think a lot of us, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a woman thing or what, but like, you know, we don't get paid what we're supposed to get paid. And I think everything that's happening in America, I'm not political, but I'm just saying this is time for women to stand up and show up and start showing that, you know, we are a powerful force, you know, and if we can help inspire the next generation, we need to lead by example and show them, look, if I can do this, you can do this too. Like my daughter is she's a graphic designer now. She's doing amazing things, but like, she's not afraid of work. She can see what possibilities. And I kind of hope that came from watching me doing it, you know, so we can influence, anyone can influence. Adam, you can influence others with your story. You can influence others with what you're doing, and even just having me on here. I mean, I don't know if you want to take a picture while I'm here, a screenshot.
Oh, I've definitely been doing that. I've been catching the screenshots.
But even those things it's like, oh, how does Adam know Samantha? You're going to make loads of people jealous, you know, and it's like, but that kind of thing, it shows you as a leader, because, okay, what's Adam going to do next? I want to be involved in the next one. So it's all about showing that you're out there doing stuff. But yeah, the Women's Inspire Network is really, I wanted to create something for women where we could learn, because I don't know about you, but like for me, I didn't know how to use Facebook and Twitter, and I didn't even have a mobile phone when I was growing up, you know, I only had the TV, you know, so we need to learn all these skills to stay ahead of the rest. And I like to teach people how to do that. So yeah, it's really important that we show up and, you know, lead by example. And you don't have to be ruthless to be in business. You can be kind, you can be helpful, you can be graceful and succeed. And most successful people, if you think about it, really, they are full of grace, you know.
It's the new paradigm. And one of the things that keeps coming up regarding women in the metaverse and minority women also is, you know, we do talk about, you know, we deserve to be paid. I just read an article that even though we have some amazing projects and NFTs and in the metaverse, there is still a disparity of women being paid for their work. And so as we take a stand of being paid, we still have a lot of resistance. But because we don't have HR, because we don't have any governments, because we are decentralized, we can get backlash, we can get, you know, there's no structure to what people can say, how we're treated. And so, but it also gives us the ability to speak up for ourselves and say, hey, you're not, no, we're gonna get paid. Asian women need to be paid, Hispanic, BIPOC people need to be paid. We're gonna get paid. We come from a group of people, women of color, who give. But now we're in an even place where we're like, yeah, we don't necessarily want to charge you for our wisdom, but you will pay for our time, right? And so we want to inspire other people, other women to do the same thing. I'm not going to charge you for my 20 years, my 30 years of knowledge, but you can pay. What I'm going to charge you for is my time. My knowledge wealth is very big, but I'm not going to charge you for that. I'm going to charge you for my time. Yes, that part. Yeah, so that is fantastic. I can't wait to dig in, and I hope all of our listeners will dial into Women Inspire in the upcoming app launch.
Yeah, the conference is on the 5th of October, and we will be doing it virtually as well. So it's my pinned tweet. It's my pinned tweet. But
I shared it.
Thank you.
But I didn't share it for myself, but it's obviously for me. I'm gonna take it for me. I shared it for others.
I think your other guest is here. Hello.
Well, this is actually one of the main leads for the Digital One, the TSA NFT. So I'd like, after this all comes to conclusion, Celia and Min and Fanny and Coffee and Bessie, please, you all do your best. I mean, I know you're all powerful women, so just please connect with Samantha. And I believe there's a huge energy here that will be brought together. And it's not me, it's all of our energy. So
I have an idea for you, ladies. Why don't you do an International Women's Day event for all the people in your space?
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Fantastic.
I thought we already
that would be something totally different.
Yeah, didn't it just pass though?
The 8th of March. I think it's the 8th of March. You time to plan.
Yes. I was thinking like this year, I think it's already passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely celebrated in the space, and there were definitely events in the space, but TSA's International Women's Day would be fantastic.
Or what about the annual women in
blockchain?
Yeah, annual Women in Blockchain conference or summit. There you go.
It exists, and we celebrated. Samantha Kelly, thank you so much for being a part
You're welcome.
of Digital 2020. Adam, our host, thank you for inviting me to co-host with you. And we're going to transition back to Celia. Celia, thank you for having us today. And back to you.
Thank you all for joining us today. And I believe we'll have another speaker, Will Burns. So I'm just trying to get a reach of him, and we'll invite him to join us on Zoom as well. Sorry.
Yeah, so he's actually reached out. He's in Clubhouse right now, and I'm not sure about the audio, but he can't join the Zoom, so for some technical difficulties. Is there any way we can...
Should I go to Clubhouse and say hi to everyone?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Please. That's where we met, and I would love for you to just... Everyone, when she comes into Clubhouse, give her a follow. She's full of value. She may even follow you back on Twitter. She might. So thank you for that, Sam. I'm so happy. But yeah, is there any way I've noticed that if I do the crossover with the Zoom I could go perhaps out, because Will's ready to speak. Yes. He's not going to be able to join the Zoom. So,
do I leave the Zoom then? I'll go to Clubhouse. Okay.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Sam.
Who's Vessi? She keeps tweeting. She's so funny. Vessi.
So Vessi Mink is one of the featured artists here in the TSA NFT, the digital space that we have. And I will onboard you into Crypto Voxels. I just didn't want to overwhelm you before we got into the Zoom. I wanted to pick your brain before we filled it back up.
Okay. Thank you, lady. Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
I'm just going to pin the Zoom link so Will can join us there. Just pin it real quick.
How do I leave? Oh yeah, I'm leaving. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.
And I'm gonna head into Clubhouse and talk to Will. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
That would be perfect. Yeah, and I said that he's not able to join. I don't know what his technical difficulty is. It's just he's not able to join the Zoom. He just can be in Zoom in the Clubhouse. So is there any way we can do the audio from there? Sorry about that. just dealing with it in real time,
Let's try again.
Wow, that's weird. Okay, I'm in here now.
So yeah, we're just waiting on Bessie. She's talking over in Clubhouse. I can't hear her in the Zoom. So, oh, there's Will entered the room.
Will is here now.
Oh, we called him out on Clubhouse. There you go. So, are we there yet? Oh, waiting.
For you guys.
Hello,
Hey.
Will. How's it going?
Great. How's it going? Is this easier for you?
Yeah, it sounds good. How's your day treating you so far? Oh, I think we lost him. So much fun. Well, we're booming into digital 2020 with TSA NFT. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty with Will joining. He was here, then he's out. He's just bouncing around in the metaverse. Definitely check out the link in Clubhouse for all of your events with the Web3 dictionary and Min Kwan's journey to go to Web3. We've had Samantha Kelly speaking, and Will is joining us now, speaking on defining the modern metaverse. So as soon as he joins us, we'll definitely get right into it in this next segment with Will Burns. Let me see if we can get.
And I'm going to head into Clubhouse with Samantha.
Awesome. Yeah, please
And
do.
Bessie.
So Will, are you there with us yet?
Yes, I am. Had a little technical difficulties, but I think I'm on my phone now. We got this working.
Awesome. Yeah, it's fun navigating all these spaces, isn't it? So how are you doing today, Will?
I am a bit tired coming out of NFT NYC and, recuperating.
Cool. How was that? Did you make some good connections and just drive home what you're already dealing with, or what?
Oh, absolutely. I met some wonderful people. Hung out with the founder for Muser World, and Joey Dunn and Jose Espinoza and all kinds of people. Went down to Custom House and sat in for educational NFTs and blockchain stuff. So it was very interesting to see how the education sector is going to looking at using all this stuff.
Awesome. So we've invited you here to speak on the topic of defining the modern metaverse, because I know you're very influential in your area. And when we first connected, you just definitely impacted me in a way that I was like, I need to pay attention to what this guy is doing. So thank you for joining us and defining the modern metaverse. How would you like to start with that?
Well, I think I would start with actually defining it for everybody. Easy peasy, though it wasn't so easy when I started back in 2005, 2007 on this. It's a very hard subject to tackle. When you think of the metaverse today, most people think of stuff like Neil Stephenson and Snow Crash and everything else. And that's where I began. I started reading all that stuff and just kind of sucking it all in. Neil Gaiman and Mona Lisa Overdrive and Johnny Mnemonic. And then I realized something very important, in that while Neil Stephenson might have coined the term, just like Jaron Lanier might have, been the godfather of VR, coined that sort of thing. What happened was, because it was so early when they were writing that, science fiction, they couldn't have foreseen what we were going through going forward. They couldn't have foreseen the internet. They couldn't have seen how far that was really going to go, to the web and what we're doing with the web now. So it would have been unfair of me back then to say the metaverse is Snow Crash. It would have been unfair, because then I'd have to ignore Neil Gaiman and everybody else, in that whole genre. I'd have to ignore Oasis even today as an option, because all those systems do not have a way to cater to other systems. The way like Johnny Mnemonic saw the VR world was very different to Lawnmower Man, to Mona Lisa Overdrive, or Neuromancer, or all the way back to Snow Crash. Each version of this metaverse idea was always different in how it was presented, and none of them could really present each other's version. So what I decided back then was, when Metaverse Roadmap asked me to try to sit down and figure that out, what I came to the conclusion was is that it's going to be an ecosystem. So that's where I started. I said it's not a single destination. Therefore, it must be the culmination of VR. And I stopped and I said, but what about augmented reality? Would the real world be augmented in a way that is virtual as well? And would that not count? And so I said the same thing. I added AR. And then I said it's an ecosystem of VR and AR destinations with, and I said, well, it can't just be that. There's other stuff too. There's other things that happen in the technology sector that enable all this stuff. Whether you're dealing with communication, satellites, new papers, new AI, new research, all this stuff has something. So I said, okay, then it must also include supporting technologies to create what? Spatial computing platform. And that's how I came about that definition, which would encompass all of the things. You could say Snow Crash or the street would be part of it as a destination. You could say Johnny Mnemonic's version there too. All that stuff is now inclusive. And that brought me to the other realization that Web3 and the metaverse are inclusive. And that's why we have the mentality we have today of, collaboration, inclusivity, all that. So the general structure would be the metaverse is VR, AR, and an ecosystem, and supporting technologies which create a spatial computing platform. And as long as we stick to that, nobody's going to win the whole thing any more than anybody's going to win the internet. When we create websites, we don't say we're building an internet. We say we're building a website on the internet. And because we're in spatial computing now, we can say we're building a destination in the metaverse. And that's how we, understand the whole ecosystem together. But then we start saying stuff like your Tesla car is part of the metaverse too, because it's mapping everything in 3D. And those maps in real time also are used for digital twins and AR. So we start seeing the correlation and how everythings are connected to each other. All these seemingly unrelated technologies make this possible, like your artificial intelligence, like DALL-E 2, and GPT-3. These things are AI systems that are brilliant in their own right. But then we have embodied AI and all that. And what kind of future would you see other than embodied AI? You're a digital assistant that can answer everything. Does Neuralink have something to do with this? So we can start seeing the ecosystem for what it is. So it's always been an ecosystem to me, and I hope others understand why we shouldn't have a monolithic one site fits all. We should have a play of interoperability between these.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's one of the things that stuck out to me from our first conversation is the mindset of it being a desirable destination, and there is not one all fits all for the metaverse. The mentality, the experience. You're going to have the people that like the, let's say, Minecraft, let's say fundamental building blocks, let's say infrastructure such as crypto voxels, and then you have the segue over into Decentraland and Superworld and these other places that are not more desirable, just different desirable destinations. So thank you for joining us, and I love where the conversation is going. Do you have anything that you'd like to share on what you're doing to define the metaverse? Like, what is it that you're doing to define your metaverse?
Well, it's not necessarily my metaverse, but I've been doing back-end stuff as of recent. I will be hopefully joining the Metaverse World Charter to help write a Bill of Rights for the metaverse. We're working with the UK and other countries to try to get that worked out. I just finished a meeting with FuturePass, so we're going to try to create the equivalent of an Epcot experience to show people what the world of 2040 might look like if we were to extrapolate all this information today. Like, what was your daily life look like in 2040? So I'm kind of like in the future end of things right now. I do work with Superworld, and I'm working with other companies, and I'm kind of cross functional right now, and just looking at where I can apply my own talents and to make the best impact. The reason I say that is because my interest always lies with the number one fundamental of the metaverse, and everyone always asks me what is the most important technology of the future? And I say, it's not technology, it's the human condition. At the center of all these tools, all these superpowers that you're going to get, it's still going to be you. it's going to be us. So it's in our best interest to figure out the human condition and treat each other better if we're going to be on a world stage together. We're going to be having the ability to impact the real world like we do on a global scale. It's in our best interest to figure out the human condition and be good to each other and figure out how we can do that in a positive way, like use these superpowers for good. So that's all the projects I get into, is describing a future like that, or trying to enable that with like the Metaverse Charter, Bill of Rights, and all that. So we can say we have a blueprint or an idea of where we need to go, or how we should use this stuff, and not just for a quick, get rich quick or something. Like, how can this benefit humanity, and what kind of future do we want together?
I love that. What comes up for me? What would kind of put you on the spot here? What would you say is the easy first step, if there is one, for someone to find their own superpower in this wonderful advancing space that's seems like moving at the speed of light?
Go play. That's the first step. The first step to everything is doing, right? We say, like, I want to do, and I say, well, then do something. It doesn't matter what it is you do. It doesn't matter if you jump into Decentraland and you go, okay, that's cool. It may or may not be for you, right? It may be the thing that you love. It may be the thing that you go, okay, this is not for me. And then you can move on and you go play other places. Go check out Second Life, go check out Superworld, OVR, anything. Go play, like, get a wide understanding, like, get your little digital passport and go travel, right? Because travel expands your understanding of the whole thing. So eventually you'll find communities, you'll find situations and platforms that appeal better to you than other platforms. And something I've always said, even working at Superworld, is I'm not going to shill Superworld. And people look at me like I just, like I just turned into Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like something went wrong. I go, here's why. Say, I work with Superworld, and I think it's one of the greatest platforms I've ever worked with. Absolutely. But I also acknowledge it's not the only platform. We're in an ecosystem. So I will always tell people, choose a platform that meets your needs, that speaks to you, and does what you want to do. There's always a community feel, and only you know what's right. And I'm not going to tell you that one's better than the other. I'm going to tell you everything has a use case for the thing you want to do. It depends on finding the one that meets yours the best. So you can find a platform that will match you better than others, what you're trying to do, because there's so many different things you can be doing in the metaverse, and it doesn't even have to deal with AR or even VR. You could be off, messing around with AI or open AI, contributing to that, or you could be, doing things with, engineering or technologies, or, interested in like Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 7 standards, and all that stuff has something to do with this. This makes a spatial computing platform. I know we talked to Nova, which is a brilliant, engineer, and they are almost single-handedly creating Stardust, a fully, ground up, augmented VR interface operating system. And it's absolutely, crazy to see somebody have that much passion in the space that they can sit there and do. I'm a programmer, I want to go do this, right? So what space you want to get into is up to you. What I would suggest is go grab your virtual passport and go try everything out. Like, be a kid in a candy store until you find the candy you like. Find find the Mars bar or the Wonka bar that you like, and stick with that. There is no one size fits all in here.
No, and that's what I loved about it, because for me, that's when it goes back to our first conversation. That's one of the things that stuck out for me, because we say the metaverse, but we really need to say a desirable destination in a metaverse, because you've said it perfectly.
In the metaverse, there is no a metaverse. And we say, like, there's a giant ecosystem. Like, imagine like you're playing football. The metaverse will be the stadium that you're playing in. All the games that happen on the field are the different destinations and all that stuff. And the stadium itself you're playing in, that encompasses it all. That would be the metaverse. It's an intangible concept of, like, saying, could you tell me where the internet is, right? Well, it's everywhere, right? It has all these different things. When you say, like, how do I get into the internet back in the day? Who would have thought that we'd be watching TV now on the internet with our Roku, or our phones would have, largely had disappeared, and it's no longer telephone. It's now just voice over IP. And that these phones would have taken over video conferencing. We never video phones, and all this stuff has something to do with it. So while you can be doing these little things off on the side, you're still participating in this, and that's what matters.
I think that is the key fundamentals of being involved. Sorry, I just got a little distracted with the question there, but that is the most amazing thing for me, is being in the space where I can observe all of these, the metaverse. It's a metaverse. So sorry, I'm just getting inundated with different messages here. Well, what is the one thing you found? Is there's any common, sorry, hold on one second.
This is what you get for being popular.
I'm telling you, man, it's just definitely a lot. So is there any common ground that you think we could kind of link all the metaverses together? I think it's the spirituality and the resonant frequency and everything that kind of culminates to us basically being here together. Is there something that you would like to add to defining the metaverse?
Like I said, I can give you those 3 sentences and that would cover most of it. But the most important aspect was not so much the tools that we have at our disposal, but the human condition. That's what brings us together right now in this space. That's why we're in multiple spaces and we're listening to each other and chatting, and there's back chat and whatever, because the human condition brings us together. We have a common interest. Now, whether you're on one platform or another, or working on one technology or another, whether you're working at Unity or Unreal or Epic Games, or it doesn't matter. What matters is that it brings us together for a common purpose, and that common purpose is to create what would be eventually a unified spatial computing platform. We're evolving the internet from just screens to your real life, to everything all around you in spatial. So everything is now part of this. And because of that situation, the human condition is the biggest part. That's what brings us together. We're all interested in this. And the thing that it's not so much this that we're interested in, we should all be interested in how we can use this to empower everyone equally and bring everybody to the table to make a better world together. Since this is going to change the world, since we're going to have the ability to make reality itself malleable to our whims, then we should have a conversation about what kind of world do we want to create now that we're creating the entire world from nothing. We can, kind of manifest things from nothing. Okay, we have demigod-like powers coming at us. How do we make this world better together? That's the big thing I would ask everybody, because the tools are there, but I only defined the general picture of it. My bigger question now was, after that, I said, I think the biggest component of the metaverse is the human condition in us, because we're going to be driving this. Our ideals, our wants, our needs, all of this is going to impact the real world. So it behooves us to come together and figure out how we're going to make this a positive change, not a Web 1 or a Web 2 where everybody was saying, I'm going to grab all your data, I'm going to be greedy and just, advertise to you and do that. I think we're in a decentralized world now. We're going into one where we can all sit down at the table, big to small, from, poverty level up to, wealth, and sit down and say, how do we want this? Like, how is it going to make this world better for all of us, every single one? Because we're going to impact the real world that way. We might as well make it good this time. We might as well ensure that we are together on this and moving forward.
Well, we're definitely together on it right now. I appreciate you being here. I'm getting so many questions in the back channel. Would you be open to answering a few right now?
Sure. I got enough coffee in me. I'll give it a shot.
Are you writing a book?
Science fiction, but I got bored and stopped for a while. That only got 4 chapters. A book in itself on this topic, I wrote a chapter for a college textbook and a research paper in ACM, and it's about as much writing as I've done on the topic as of late.
Awesome. How about, who is your mentor?
My mentor, wow. somebody that I would look up to, honestly, it's going to sound kind of corny, but I would look up to like Jaron Lanier. I look up to Neil Stevenson as an author, Ernest Klein as an author. They don't always have to get it right. Neil Gaiman, obviously, but in more practical terms, people I look up to aren't necessarily metaverse related. Yeah, my personal favorite is I look up to Gary Vee because I just like the way he sees the world. And you don't have to, subscribe to any of that if you don't want. I just look at it and say, being a decent person, looking at the big game and looking at the bigger picture is what appeals to me. So, being more realistic and authentic with yourself in this metaverse is probably the right way. And I say that because you could still be, a cat wearing a necktie and still, attend your meetings, but being the authentic self, being real with people is helpful because and if you excuse my language, we're in a world now where we all see through the bullshit. If you're going to bring BS to the table, we're going to see through you, and companies can't pull that anymore with us. We immediately shoot them down, we destroy them, we eviscerate them for it. So you can't be fake in this world. And what I mean is you can be anonymous, but you still be a authentic human being, an authentic person. And that's what matters most. So when I say like, what's my mentor? I'd say Gary Vee because he speaks his mind. He tells you, what's the ROI of your mother, right? He's right. Like we're so centric on hyper focused on these numbers and how to get SEO and all this other stuff. And really, what matters is the connection. It doesn't matter if you get instant results. It matters if you've made a lifetime of connection with somebody that you can know them well enough that they become lifetime customers or lifetime friends or whatever, and they see a blurring line there of like, hey, I've got your back. Being that way is how our grandparents were back in the day. The butcher knew your name and all that. So they know what kind of stuff you like before you walk in the door. They knew, you're going through some stuff with the family and they ask you how you doing, right? Compassion, empathy. These things are vitally important for the metaverse, even though he looks at, maybe Gary Vee might look at it from a marketing perspective. I look at it from a metaverse perspective because it still applies. We need that in this world. We need to have that mentality now, and we are seeing it. So that would be one of my mentors.
That's a great segue. So the other question is, do you have any female mentors?
Female mentors. Who inspires me from the female side of things is probably not huge names in the industry, but smaller artists and stuff like that. Yoko Mack is a perfect example. She left Ukraine during war-torn time, going on now. She escaped that country with her 3 children, made it to the United States, and and still does NFT artwork and designs toys and stuff for another company. And this woman to me is like friggin' inspirational. It's like you have gone through so much and accomplished so much in that hardship that it's just mind blowing to me. And I had the privilege of meeting her at NFT NYC and see her artwork up there. And it just blew my mind that she was sitting in a war-torn country with bombs rattling her windows a month or two ago to the point where she's standing here in the United States and has accomplished so much in so little time. So yeah, I have a lot of folks I look up to and I go, to me though, it's not, it's not a matter of, I don't specifically look for male, female, or anything in between. I look for what you're doing. Your merit is always going to win out with me. Whether you're non-binary, I would say like if you say female, I wouldn't, I could say I look up to Nova. I look up to Nova, and Nova's non-binary, so I look up to Emmy. And Emmy does great stuff. And so, putting it on gender to me is, yes, we need more females in the space, absolutely, but there's also, cross-gender, non-gender, non-binary. There's a lot of other things going on here, and I look up to people and merit. I don't just make it about a thing. I say people and merit, and if you're doing something with, worth note, I don't care if you're purple, green, blue, Martian. I don't care if you're alien. I don't care. I look at you and say, you deserve, the praise. You deserve the credit. You deserve the merit for that. You deserve the attention for that. And I'll put the spotlight right on you and walk away. Even if I'm in the room and I'm, the spotlight's on me for speaking, I will turn that spotlight on somebody else and walk away and go like, you need to go talk to them. That's how I am about things.
I absolutely love that. I love how we definitely don't have to be gender specific. It was just one of the questions. I love how you segued on that. And I'm just checking the Twitter here because I like to, while we support communities, I'm just retweeting and liking your pinned tweet. I suggest everyone go follow Will Burns at AEONIX, capital AEON. And thank you for joining us. I've got Celia saying, I hope I said her name right. Thank you back for joining us. It's back on the Zoom. And do you have a question, Celia, or are we segueing over into the?
I'm just waiting for Will to finish answering your question so we can start in the fashion show. Not to rush you guys or anything, just kind of prepare it for it now.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I want to thank Will for taking time out of his day. He's just always impressed me as a magnificent speaker. And I thought the super world was a nice, contributing factor to what we've got going on in crypto voxels, because it's not about whether you're like super world or Decentraland or crypto voxels. It's about all of us joining in this space together and just being a part of it. And you'll find your community, whether you like the crypto voxels, whether you like the super world. There's enough to go around in desirable destinations in a metaverse, because there's several, and finding that cross collaboration, pollination, where the innovation comes in and the desirable experience, you can merge. What is it? Interoperability is really where I think it's going to excel at. And these types of conversations is where that happens, because that way we can find the clear path between the communities and see who all's aligned, and then the resonant synergy energizes and the trajectory is amazing. So thank you for joining us. And is there any, I'm going to check the back channel here in Clubhouse just to see if there's any questions for Will. And I don't see anything there, but I've got two here in another channel in Telegram. Will, have you created any NFTs?
I have not actually, but there's a specific reason. When I first started in specifically in that sector, the first thing I said was that there's a bear market coming. And two, I was going to refrain from creating NFTs myself until A, the bear market hit, and B, I'm always interested in not collecting for the sake of collecting, but I always like utility. So when NFTs are created, or if I was to buy any, I would want to know exactly what impact in the real world it has. I want to see like more than just collecting for the sake of collecting. I don't want Beanie Babies. I don't want baseball cards. And if that's your thing, do it, right? Go for it, right? But remember, I'm the sort of person that says, and then what? My answer is always, now what? Like, what does this do? Like, what impact does this have? We talk with Reef.io, and they're scanning the entire Australian reef to help preserve it. And those sort of things get my attention. I go, if you buy this land, you're keeping oil in the ground and stopping it from being drilled. We're planting trees. We're saving lives. We're doing this. I'm always into real world impact. So as far as creating NFTs, no, I don't. But if I were to buy NFTs, and I have my wallet set up, I always look out for utility. And the reason I say utility in that, it doesn't mean you have to have utility. You can do collecting for the sake of collecting, and that's fine. You can do virtual world stuff, and that's fine. For me, on the other hand, I share the same value as the co-founder of Ethereum, which is I believe the utility is more important for that kind of a network, that blockchain. And he is kind of alarmed that we're kind of misusing it right now for just frivolous things, when there could be so much more utility and social impact and world impact in positive ways with this technology. So when I look at anything in NFT space, I want to know what the real world impact is going to be. Is there going to be one? Is it going to be good? Is this for a cause? Does this have utility to it? So that's the sort of thing I always look for.
That's absolutely wonderful. And I just saw on the Digital One billboard asset, it said the red dot, what does it say? The pale dot skirt, the utility behind it is regenerating the world. So it's kind of a joke there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's a joke, but it's not really. I love that
Right.
the one of the fashion show is coming up very soon. But one of the hats, I believe it's the quit my job hat. Is that right, Celia?
Yes, I'm wearing quit my job hat. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I love it, and we have to make the made my first million tuxedo and the attending all of the stylish events shoes in anyway. No, thank you, Will, for joining us. And basically I'm definitely enjoying this space, and it's fun figuring it out in real time. Have you been in voxels yet? Obviously you have. Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
I have not actually.
Oh,
I've seen crypto voxels. I've seen Decentraland. I've been in there like once or twice, but my main go-to is still, and I'm old school on this. I pretty much, my chosen space is still Second Life, even though there's no NFTs in there. But it's a great, for me, it's a great petri dish of community and seeing how trends work out in real time and how communities structure themselves. And I would imagine that a lot of those same things over the last 18 to 20 years in SL have kind of arisen organically in other spaces as well when it comes to community. So like I said earlier, everybody has their space that they enjoy and that they will find their communities. Mine happens to be old school and I like SL. But I'm not advocating for or against it. I just say for me personally, that's where I hang out. Now, other places could be Decentraland, crypto voxels, you name it. Where Horizon, you want to jump into VR and go to Horizon or Altspace VR or everything. I do that too with Altspace VR, and we hang out there with Zen and build stuff. So it's all in your personal wants and needs and what works for you. And there is no right answer. There is no one size fits all. And the best part about it all is that you're right about interoperability. If you're going to follow anybody on Twitter, I would definitely suggest Kim Nevelstein, Dr. Nevelstein, because he's done IPSMA, which is a manner by which you could actually link all this stuff together seamlessly. So there's like a lot of research in this. There's a lot of places like OMI, Open Metaverse Interoperability Group, some great minds beyond me that are coming together and thinking about stuff. Like I'm looking at on the screen now, you have crypto voxels, I guess.
Yeah, so this is TSA NFT's Digital One space on the ocean front with the yacht that is right there. Yeah, perfect.
Nice. So what I'm getting at is like there is a collectible market there for your NFTs, but the utility behind it is can we transfer those things that you bought in there to other virtual platforms? That's where the interoperability kicks in. That's what I look at, because I want not to be siloed into different virtual worlds. I want you guys to be able to walk from there, open a portal, and just walk right into another virtual world. Completely different than what you're in, and just bring what you've got with you. That's the bigger challenge on the back end that we're looking at. So while these virtual worlds exist and while they are proliferating, I absolutely applaud that. I sit on the back end and look at the hard questions. I look at how are you guys going to walk buy your $1 million tuxedo and then walk into another world with it. How does that translate? From here to Horizon to Second Life to whatever, Decentraland and OVR and Super World. How does that translate? How do we get that to happen? And that's where my space is mostly. So kudos to all of you for participating. Kudos to all of you for having these hard discussions and figuring some of this stuff out. Kudos to you for collaborating, because that's the thing. We're all collaborators now. We're no longer consumers. We're not all producers. It's not a one size fits all. I mean, Roblox learned that when they said, we're making a metaverse. And I remember telling them, no, you're not. Don't say that. And they found out the hard way, because as a children's game, they found out that people were making strip clubs, BDSM clubs, and Roblox. And they went, oh crap. I went, well, this is why you don't want to be the whole metaverse. You want to be a destination meant for kids. Stick to that. Don't try to be everything, because if you are, you do have to accept that those things exist in the world and therefore will probably exist in your virtual world. And if that's something you don't want, then cater to the platform, cater to the audience and demographic you're going for, and stop trying to be the whole thing. But if you're going to follow anybody, else on Twitter, absolutely Kim Nevelstein on Twitter. Follow him. He's kind of dry, but as an academic, he will blow your mind with some of this stuff.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I'm getting inundated with questions here, but we're running 1 minute over on our allotted time so we can get the fashion show started. But I do want you to know that in the back comments, we're getting the consensus that you are the bridge. And thank you for being here with your knowledge, your specialty, speaking, and just your understanding of what's going on in the metaverse. So with that, is that Min coming back to... Hello, Min, and just so you know...
Hello. Thank you, Adam. Thank
yes,
you,
Min,
Will.
over to you.
Yes, thank you, Will. Thank you, Samantha.
Absolute pleasure to be here.
Wonderful speakers, and thanks for your wonderful insight. Yes, utility is a key, and education is essential. So now we would like to share with you our mini fashion show and how TSA Web3 dictionary utility behind our wearables. Okay, now I would like to turn over to Cecilia to start our fashion show for today. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for Will and Samantha for your speech, and Adam and Kathy for co-hosting our event for today. And now we would like to present our today's feature song and start our fashion show. And now I would also like to give you an instruction on how to access to our various venues during our fashion show and throughout our event. So here you can see me sharing on Zoom. Here at Voxel's Opening Ocean venue, you can click the screen to play YouTube Live and play the featured music. And you can also click the portal doll and the floating cup on the garden to teleport back to TSA NFT gift shop store for signing the guest book and cleaning gift, or if you would like to do some shopping and visiting. You can also click the media wall behind, and it will bring you to Connect Club, our networking and presentation room venue. And you can also watch and communicate through mobile or tablet there. And at TSA Voxel gift shop, you can also click the portal door or left click image that will bring you to our current venue, the Digital 2020 Ocean venue down on the beach here. So those two venues on Connect Club and Voxels are for our event. For our event and Web3 social podcast training class and more benefits. And now we're opening our online training guide on Voxels. And we will share with you how to walk, fly, and run and communicate in the Metaverse Voxel. And you can also visit our cruise on the ocean and our exhibition hall building behind here. And the chat group on Voxels is open now. You can also use those links in the chat box to join us on Discord and Telegram. And now we would like to present our very, very, very special Web3 wearable dictionary fashion show. And today's featuring music is Let's Be Friend and Is This Money? So let us take a look at the new fashion show venue. We have our lead to show our way of catwalk and our featured wearables that we're going to airdrop today for our active attendees. And so don't forget to head to our Voxels. For our attendees on Clubhouse, please don't forget to head to Voxels and join us here to watch the fashion show. And you can also get some free wearables by signing our guest book during our lunch break. And so Adam, Ming, are you guys ready for our fashion show now?
I'm always ready for the fashion show.
Awesome. So this fashion show is on Voxels and we're live stream on Clubhouse and YouTube. The inspiration of this edition of TSA Spring Summer 2022 wearables comes from the recent crush of cryptos. And we believe that everyone should learn how to build a dip in this bear market and understand the proper basics of DeFi, blockchain, and Metaverse. So this is a good start to familiarize yourself with the Web3 dictionary and to start understanding the lingos. And that's one of our inspiration. We hope this will help us learn together in the next 10 days or so. And we would also like to thank a very important writer and musician, Wesley, for making a special song for TSA Web3 Wearable Dictionary. And we will be playing that song later today. And I believe Ming is going to share the workshops. And the top 10 wearables we're presenting today includes the birth of Web3 social, Let's Be Friends, NFT Meetup, Web3 Journey, Where Do We Go From Here, Open Economy, DeFi Gathering, and Build a Dip, No Time to Lose, Crypto is Risky, and the last one is Easiest Money. So I believe Ming is wearing I Lost My Private Key green hat, and Let's Be Friends top, and the dress is NFT meets Metaverse, and it is a green dot skirt, and she's also carrying a penguin punk as her accessory for today. So let's just walk the catwalk. For whoever's on Voxel, let's all do the fashion show now. And we are, as TSNFT, we're just very happy to sponsor this event and co-host Digital 2020. And we're also very proud to provide a customized POAP for Digital 2020 events. So if you are on Voxel, don't forget to sign the guest book, and sign up for our whitelist for POAP.
1, 2, 3.
Awesome. And you can hear the song is This Money and Let's Be Friends. It is written by our very talented friend, Leslie. And you can see on the Zoom and on the YouTube live stream where a lot of people are walking the catwalk. And you can see our venue, our exhibition hall here. It is showcasing a lot of different NFT collections. And if you don't want to walk on Voxels, you can also choose to fly. When you can fly in the metaverse, you really don't need to walk anymore. He's flying, and you can see some of our NFT collections here. This one, the one you're seeing right now, is called Norse Mythology. And if you go down to the 4th floor, you will see the collection by Sean. I think Shatter. Yeah, sorry, it's Shatter. And this is Shatter's NFT collection. And if you go down to the 3rd floor, I believe. Oh. So once you leave the exhibition building, you can take a look at our whole, you can see our pool here. And also the helicopter on the top. So that's pretty much. You can hear the beautiful music playing in the back. And Ming is entering the building again. And this is acting toward.
Video? Is artist design or entitled Metaverse shoes?
Yeah. our exhibition building. If you have some NFT you'd like to present, you're welcome to contact us, and we can work together to present your works here in the metaverse. So, and that's pretty much sum up our today's fashion show. Thank you.
If you are interested, come over to here, sign this book. And we're gonna have an airdrop on June 30 from
Yeah.
those
You can see this.
artists. Our press release room will be opening on 29.
Min's so good at flying around in the metaverse. Look at her. She's just zooming around, showing everything off. It's so cool. She's really got the hang of flying, doesn't she?
Definitely know how.
To fly and walk here.
Let's play hard.
This is our style, our second life. It's a metaverse at Voxels.
Where ETH is money, right?
June 3rd to July 3rd. Go ahead, register so you can get your free wearable. Go ahead, you have a POAP to
One artist from New York and China will be opening on June 30. Thank you, everyone. Adam, thanks for host today. And thanks, Celia. So do you have any final words? We're gonna ending today's session.
Sure. So thank you all of you for joining us today. And please don't forget to sign the guest book to get your free wearables and other airdrops we'll be having. And also please don't forget to take a warm for us if you're also on Voxels. We're very much looking forward to seeing you on June 30, which is our exhibition and closing party. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact us. And we will be very happy to help you to solve any question you have. And as a disclaimer, please know that crypto is risky and this event is strictly for educational purpose and not investment advice or solicitation to buy or sell assets or to make any financial decisions. Please do your own research and talk to your financial advisors. And also a reminder to everyone who's on Voxels, you can click the floating cup in the garden to teleport back to TSA gift shop for a visit. And also at the gift shop, you can left click on the image on wall and it will bring you back to our training venue by the ocean. So thank you guys for joining us today and thank you for your wonderful speech. Ming, do you have any last word here?
Thank you, everyone, and see you tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.